Talmud tells the very famous story of somebody who was not Jewish and wanted to learn more about Judaism, and happens upon the house of Shammai. And he says, Rabbi, teach me the Torah on one foot. In Hebrew, al regel echat. We know the story, but I'll recount. Shammai says, look, I don't have the time for that, and you don't have the time for that. It's going to take years. Torah and Mishnah, rabbinic tradition, and Talmud. And so in traditional Jewish sense, of course, the person goes to the next rabbi to find the answer that he would like. And he goes to Hillel. Hillel, Rabbi, please teach me the Torah al regel achat, on one foot. And Hillel thought and answered, I can do that. I can do that. He tells the man, what is hateful to you, do not do unto your neighbor. That is the entire Torah. The man's so happy, he's about to run away. He said, hold on, Rabbi Hillel says. You're forgetting the most important part. The rest of the teaching goes, Hillel says, the rest is commentary. Tsei ulmad. Go and learn. Tsei ulmad. That's what we're going to do today. Tsei ulmad. We will go and learn. This morning, I like to say we cross a finish line. Shmini Atzeret, the last festival with Simchat Torah of the holiday season. But Shmini Atzeret literally means an 8th day of pausing, stop. God is asking us not to leave yet. We as a community, as individuals, as Jews around the world, have been running a marathon since at least Rosh Hashanah. And in that marathon, there is just so much emotion, conflicting emotions, from holiday to holiday without any time to really process that emotion. We'll run the marathon really quickly from Rosh Hashanah to the fast of Gedalia right after, to Tashlich, to Yom Kippur, to Sukkot, to Hoshana Rabbah, to today, and ultimately to Simchat Torah. And when we run that marathon, we don't have time to stop. In fact, Jewish law tells us the same thing. The teaching goes, if you're really meticulous in your observance of mitzvot, the second that Yom Kippur ends, you do not go to the buffet table at the break the fast. But what do? You're running to build your sukkah. Literally, after the sounding of the shofar, after 5 hours of fasting and soul-searching and confessions, what does Jewish law tell us? Do another mitzvah. But let's think for a moment what type of mitzvah building a sukkah is. It's a physical mitzvah. In other words, after a full day of divine connection and inspiration, we cannot take a break. But Jewish law tells us to do the exact opposite. That we take the spiritual high that we have just gone through on Yom Kippur, and we bring it into the mundane physical world, literally with hammers and nails. Rabbi Milt Poland teaches us that Jewish law does it right. That the observant Jew is obligated to translate the spiritual values into the physical world. At the exact moment that we are at our most high, the mundane world needs us the most. But now we get to today on Yizkor. At the end of the entire Holy Day season, we do the exact opposite. We have just dwelled in the physical world, in the fragile sukkah, and now the rabbis are telling us, come back. Bring the physical, the relationships, and the love back into the spiritual world of our hearts and our souls. Sometimes as Jews, as you can see by the number of people here today in our congregation, we like to do things all at once. All at once. We come here 2, maybe 3 days a year for the spiritual recharge, but we often run on empty the rest of the year. But there are moments like today of Yizkor that allows us to fill up that tank again. Remember Rabbi Hillel, what he said? Al regel achat, the man said. Can you teach the Torah on one foot? But for those of you who know Hebrew, you can also translate regel not as foot, but as this festival, this holiday. The Shalosh Regalim, a Jewish festival in Hebrew, is called a regel. So much of our lives we're saying, we'll do it al regel achat. We'll put it all in one holiday. We'll put it all in one festival. We'll put it all in one day. But we forgot the rest of Hillel's teachings. Tzei ulmad. The rest of the year, we have to go and learn. That's what Yizkor is about. That's what grief is about. That is how we mourn. Not al regel achat, on one foot or on one day. But we pace it out. We go and learn about our loved ones every single day. We pause. One of the most beautiful moments of a Shiva, and it happens every single time, is when somebody raises their hand to share a memory, and I see the family of the loved one who have never heard that story before. It brings them a smile to their eye, a tear runs down their cheek. But in that moment, we are fulfilling that mitzvah of Tzei Ulmad, to go and learn. To learn the stories that we knew, but more importantly, to learn the stories that we will continue to learn from our loved ones throughout our lifetime. We just recited the Yizkor prayer 10 days ago, and we're back here again reciting it now. But we will not recite the Yizkor again for another 6 months until Pesach. But what it does not mean is that we will not forget how to remember, how to grieve, and how to mourn. Rather, Tzei Ulmad, we must go and learn, so that when we leave our Sukkot, which we did last night, back into the world, we bring their legacies, we bring their love. They are not forgotten. In thinking about this teaching, al regel achat, I could not help about the events this past week on Sunday and Monday as we celebrated the lives of 20 hostages returning to their home on Simchat Torah, but also the lives of 28 hostages who are no longer alive, waiting for them to come home as well. So many have commented over these last 48 hours that it finally feels like October 8th. For 2 years, we were stuck in grief. It felt like October 7th every single day. But can't we now move to October 8th? And when I heard that, I also thought about what is the most difficult day of Shiva. It's not day 7, but it's day 8. It's when Shiva ends. It's when the guests are gone. It's when we re-enter the world. It's the day when we ask, how can we have the ability to continue to remember? And yet at the same time, day 8 is a beautiful day in our tradition. It's the day of a covenantal relationship between babies and God. It's a reminder that relationship lasts well beyond our time on this earth. Today is a complicated day. In our Amidah, we just said Zman Simchatenu, a time of joy. But we know we're holding both, a time of joy and sorrow. And so today is a moment of al regel achat. On this festival, today is the last day of Yizkor of this holiday season. But also, in a momentous historical way, today is the last day that we will look at this banner in this sanctuary. It will be the last Yizkor that this banner will grace the walls above us, as this evening we will transition and remove this banner, while at the same time placing 28 names in front of me, waiting for those lives to come home. Today is a moment of Tzei Ulmad. We must go and learn. We must look at these pictures, keeping their names alive, but also beginning to learn their stories, learning those names who have come home and those names who have not. And that is also why we are here as individuals for Yizkor today, to remember a name, to recall a smile, to hear their voice, and to be touched by their souls. These last 2 years since Simchat Torah 2023, every single day has been al regal achat. It has stared us in the face, be it a banner, a ribbon, a necklace, we have remembered. Because it has stared us in the face, it has been easy. Every day, al regal achat, was the same day. But this Shmini Atzeret, and this Yizkor, in this moment of transition in Jewish history, in this moment of al regal achat, let us commit ourselves to Hillel's ultimate teaching of tzei ulmad. Let's go and continue to learn. For when we do this, no matter how far the next Yizkor will be, the names of all those we love, the names of all those who we remember, and their stories will be a blessing for all time. Yehiyu nishmatam baruch. May the souls of those who left this earth be a blessing to us for all time. And let us say, Amen.